Hey guys, RTT back here for that video. Guys, today we're gonna get my review of the Galaxy Z Flip 3 after 2 weeks of owning it. Now I will say, if you guys have not seen my initial video, I am now daily driving the Galaxy Z Flip 3. And for the longest time, I simply refused to buy this phone. I mean, I just bought this phone recently off eBay and it's 8 months after it came out. Now, I was the biggest hater of this phone. I absolutely thought this phone was pointless. I thought it was going to be an absolute bust because the battery life is awful. And, overall wise, there was issues with people saying the microphone port broke. It was just a weird phone. I always thought it was a weird phone, and for $1,000, obviously now it has came down to around $890. I think $899. It's a phone where I'm just like, I want to stay clear of. So me actually picking it up and making it my daily driver was actually a bold decision for me, because you guys did not know I do love my Surface Duo 2. I love my Z Fold 3. So to give up those phones for this bad boy right here was a big step forward. Now, we'll say after 2 weeks, here's my honest opinion. I love the phone, but there are still things I want to see fixed on this phone. Battery life is very, very mid. It's not great. It's not the worst thing ever. Now, I will say I have had better experience with battery life on this phone than I have seen all over the internet. I don't know if that's just because of how often people use their phone or what they do on their phones. I haven't had too many issues when it comes to battery life on this phone, but I know I've seen, again, like I said, many people say it's a 6 hours or less battery life. You have to bring a charger with you. You always have to have something with you at all times, or else the phone's gonna die. I haven't had that much issue with battery life. My biggest issue with this phone has to be the cameras. It has to be the camera software, how the cameras operate. They're trash, and I really wish they were better. If they were better, this phone would be so much better overall wise. If you could walk around with this bad boy right here and have really good cameras, software wise, that would be absolutely amazing. The actual cameras aren't really too bad. It's just really the software, how it operates, how you use it, how fast you can go ahead and take a picture, how slow it is processing. If you take a picture at all and someone moves, it instantly destroys the picture. Not a fan. Not a fan of it. Not a fan of the cameras. Now, everything else outside the cameras, I really did think I was going to have an issue with the crease, because that's what a lot of people have issues with, is that crease down the middle. I've had zero issues with the crease down the middle. The crease down the middle has not bothered me by any stretch of the imagination. So I will say that's a W on that part. Obviously it has everything else you need: wireless charging, NFC, it's waterproof. This phone overall wise is a really great phone and a great concept, because of course it doesn't take up much space in your pocket. And that's one thing I will say, after daily driving this for 2 weeks now, I really think to myself, it's like, if I ever go back to, let's say for example, an iPhone right here, it's really hard to go back to an iPhone when you have this phone that's half the size of the iPhone. I could put this in my pocket with a wallet and instantly, bam, it's nice. It's really nice. Now, obviously, it is double the thickness of an iPhone, and that is something to take into consideration. But it also does have a USB-C port, so you give some, you take some, pretty much that. And I will say, overall wise, when you are using it on the phone, like talking on the phone like this, it's not weird, because it's not like it's a Surface Duo 2 or Z Fold 3. Actually, I would say Surface Duo 2, Z Fold 3 is more normal. It actually feels really actually genuine, right? Now, another thing I will say I love about this, and this is something that I really didn't think I was going to get too much into, but I actually started using a lot more. There are different applications you can install on this phone that lets you take advantage of the outside display. Unlike the Duo 2 that does not let you take advantage of the outside display, you can go ahead and actually get applications on this phone that let you be able to control the outside display better. And the application I'm talking about is called Cover Screen OS. And it's actually a really cool application. Lets you be able to actually go ahead on the outside screen here, have a whole entire app drawer, select things, and it's really just customizable. And I will say I really do love that. Of course, Android 12, rocket on this phone. Overall wise, would I recommend you pick it up even at the price tag of $899, right? that's a price tag where it's like, okay, it's not too steep, but you know, for example, I bought this on eBay for $399. Even at $399, well, I recommend picking this up. This is a phone I put in the same category as the Duo 1. This phone is and can be a daily driver more than the Duo 1, just because the fact it does have NFC, does have 5G, it does have, you know, all the bells and whistles inside. Has its limitations too, but it can be a daily driver. Would I recommend it? I say, get like the Surface Duo 1. I think everyone should give this phone a try. It's one of those things where it's like you might not love it, and this phone is not going to be for everyone. This phone right here is not going to be made for every single person who goes ahead and picks up this device. Some people will love it. Some people absolutely despise this phone. And you know, for the longest time, I despised this phone, but without giving it a chance. So I will say, if you are looking at this phone, you think, oh, this phone is stupid looking, I just can't go for it, I would absolutely hate this phone. I will say, don't be, you know, like me here, and give it a try, because I will say after 2 weeks, I do love this phone. It's just not perfect. It's really just not perfect, but there are a lot of benefits to this phone, and it's really cool. I mean, at the end of the day, the coolest thing about this phone is that, and you know what the funny thing is, you know, stuff like this, like, oh, it flipped it, you know, just like that. Usually it's a gimmick, and the gimmick wears off after like a week of owning the phone, or a couple of days of owning the phone. After a week, you know, you're like, okay, whatever. It's a flip upside down. It's not a big deal. This has still not worn off on me. It still has not worn off on me, the flip up and down. I still love that concept. I still love that idea, and it still feels absolutely amazing to me. And I know, again, like I said, you know, it's one of those gimmicks that you're supposed to wear off. It still hasn't worn off on me. So it might wear off on you within a second, but for me, I still love the idea. And the hinge, I'm surprised too, because the amount of times I do flip this phone up and down, I was expecting the screen to actually start breaking. That's actually what happened on the last Z Flip 3, was the screen in the little crease actually started breaking on people. I've not had an issue at all yet, and I'm still waiting to see if that does end up happening. But other than that, like I said before, it's a great phone. What would I rate this out of 10 after 2 weeks of owning it and 2 weeks of daily driving this phone? I gotta give it in the ballpark range of a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's perfect. I think it's a little bit above average when it comes to, because again, the flippable stuff. So if we're looking at it compared, like, for example, a Z Fold 3, I'd say a Z Fold 3 is a 9. This would be a 6. It's cool, it's gimmicky a little bit, and it has some practicability to it, but with the cameras being as bad as they are, I just can't recommend this as a higher than a 6. This phone, if you want to give it a try, give it a try like Surface Duo 1. But aside from it, I would say go out there and pick up instantly. You get it for anything less than $300 or $400 like I did, give it a try. $899, probably gonna go with it now. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.